Business news from the Capital Region. This is Washington Business Report with ABC7 national correspondent Rebecca Cooper.
Thanks for joining us for a look at business and finance and how it affects you. Coming up, a social media phenomenon, feedback on how to use feedback for better business results, and our roundtable takes on the battle over trade, a big blow to Metro, and a major CEO departure. But first, usually the publicist is the person we're dealing with behind the scenes to book CEOs and newsmakers. But the person generating headlines in the Wall Street Journal and other major publications right now is the publicist. Aliza Licht wanted to be a doctor and was on a full academic scholarship to study medicine at the University of Maryland. But after several jobs in medicine, she had to admit to her parents and herself that fashion was her passion, an industry she knew little about. Now she's one of the best known in her field. As Senior Vice President for Global Communications at Donna Karan, with over 500,000 Twitter followers, Licht's new book, Leave Your Mark, describes her rise to the top and how we all, young and old, can better build our own brand.
Aliza Licht, welcome to Washington Business Report. You're now described as this rock star in the fashion world. To those who don't know you, you've got this new book out, Leave Your Mark, and it's based on the fact that you have been Donna Karan's publicist for 17 years now, and you really gained a cult following. Your company decided, let's get out there on social media. You didn't know what Twitter was all about. You decided to create this kind of made-up character that was DKNY PR girl. And next thing you know, through a lot of hard work on your part, 500,000 followers on social media. Now you're trying to teach others how to build their own brand, how to put themselves out there in a way that can really make a difference. So talk to us a little bit about some of the things you learned along the way. It's hard when you're a publicist to build your own brand. You're all about her brand.
It was never the goal. You know, the goal was to embark in social media. Twitter was what I was responsible for, and I thought, it didn't matter who the person was who was doing it. At the time, Gossip Girl was the hottest show on television, at least in my world. And I thought, what a great idea. It'll be anonymous. No one has to know who she is. So it was a fashion.
But you didn't know Twitter very well at all. So many people are intimidated by social media, thinking, I don't get it, I don't understand it, so that's not going to be my marketing tool. You embraced it without understanding it.
I just dove right in, and I taught myself how to tweet based on just watching other people.
Well, your book is full of good advice, and I highly recommend it to everyone in our audience, male, female, young, old, because it's full of good advice for young people just getting started in their careers. But I also think it's a must-read for anyone my age and the 40-somethings and over who haven't yet fully figured out this brave new world of social media. But back it up a little bit, because now you are this sensation, the Wall Street Journal and everyone else writing about you. Your boss is completely supportive. Donna Karan wrote the foreword to your book. We've interviewed her here on this show. She's no shrinking violet. Talk to us about having a boss that's comfortable letting the publicists also shine in the spotlight.
Well, she's amazing, and you know, it really is something that has evolved over time. So it was never the goal for it to be this huge thing. It just sort of snowballed. You know, social media back in 2009 was like the wild, wild west, and it's still something that people are figuring out. So my day job is still the most important thing to me. You know, celebrity dressing, getting the collection of magazines, but at the same time, social media has changed the way we do PR, and the whole world communicates. I'm sure you know. I mean, as a journalist, it's like we're all on there all day long.
But you follow the rules of the road better than I do. There's lots of takeaways, but one thing that really struck me from the book, here you have 500,000 followers and growing, and yet you still sometimes go door to door. As glamorous as your world is, we all know these glamour jobs. You also spend plenty of time packing cardboard boxes and other things. And one woman tweeted about trying to find the right pair of black shoes, just a random woman on Twitter. You took the time, you saw that tweet, you built her an entire Pinterest board of different DKNY shoes she might want to consider. So that fascinated me, that with all these different followers you have, you still think it's worth your time to focus on one single person out there in the Twitter sphere. Why?
Because I don't think of it as followers. I think of them as friends. And if my girlfriend called me up and said, what shoes should I buy? I would be like, oh my God, let me check right now online and I'll find you a pair. It's just my natural instinct to want to help, and I'm friendly and approachable. So that's in my life. So online, I'm going to be the same way.
So how do people juggle that? Because you're a very busy woman. You've got a demanding career. You probably don't have time for the friends you have, much less your 500,000 new friends. What's your advice? There's a lot of guidance that you give. What's some of the key advice for how to build in time to build this outreach?
First of all, I don't schedule anything. I post off the cuff, and it's always me. So if I'm in a meeting for 3 hours, there will be no tweets. There's no tweets right now, you know? So that's number one. So I believe in the authenticity of the channel, and I think that the people who handle their own social media at the major celebrity level really have the biggest, best followings. You know, Taylor Swift, I mean, she's responding to her fans all the time. I mean, people really love that.
But you say you don't have to be a big celebrity. As long as you're genuine, you have a voice.
Absolutely.
You are candid and honest. You've got so many different rules of the road to live by. You also have lots of good advice in the book overall about career paths and the do's and don'ts that you've learned along the way. Looking back now, what were a couple of the big mistakes that you think, oh, if I could get to that young girl and tell her, don't do that?
I think now we're all more hyper aware of what our personal brands are, whether it is that you're a public person or even if you're, you know, a mom at school who heads up the PA. So I think that understanding what your presence mean and how people, when they meet you, what they take away from meeting you.
And this is the good advice that I think people our age and everyone needs to understand. I have a good friend right now who is so powerful in her position, but she doesn't market herself. She's so busy promoting all the people around her, and I keep saying to her, own your own biography too. And this book really says that it's okay to be the person making someone else look good, but take care of your own brand as well.
Absolutely.
It's a great book, great advice, a fascinating career, a PR rock star. We're used to having the CEO on, not the CEO as publicist, but you've got a great story to tell.
Thank you.
Aliza Licht, congratulations on the book and all your success.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.